Start tonight, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Spiritual Street Talk with Alethea Jacob. I'm Alethea with our very special guest host tonight, Chris Grizzly. How you doing tonight, sir? So many people have been asking about you and wondering where you're at. And look at you there, all smiley and happy and with us. Yay!
Yeah. So we have been so busy behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to let some of it out of the bag tonight. But we have been expanding the network. We have been adding more shows, different topics, different sub channels. It's going to be awesome. It really is. Which brings us to what we're going to talk about. What's going to happening? What?
So tonight's topic is all about manifesting, and the announcement that we have is that we actually are manifesting a new morning show, and it's going to be called Grace and the Grind, and we're going to get it out there sometime within the next month. We'll actually post the official date, so probably within a month. Always, maybe we'll shoot for springtime and have that spring energy, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be pretty soon. It'll be sooner than later. And that show is going to be a complimentary show to this one. And actually, what's kind of fun about the topic tonight about manifesting is that Mary, Chris, and I had been talking a while back about, it'd be kind of fun to do another show that leaned on more of my pure life coaching experience and my business experience and my managing and running a business experience with like practical day-to-day kind of advice, but with the spiritual overtones to it. And so we've been kind of brainstorming on that and kind of holding the space for it. And it feels like it's the right time now to do that. And there's Mary. Hey, Mary. So hi. You guys know every episode, I always thank the heart and soul of our network. And tonight we are graced to have the heart and soul with us. Woohoo! Very excited.
Hi, just Jody. Welcome from the UK. We're glad to meet you.
Yeah, there's been quite a few people that have been on, and they always ask what's going on and where's Grizz? And I was like, well, he's around there somewhere. You have to look and find him. And here you are tonight. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting.
We're real excited about tonight's show. Take us away.
Well, before you totally leave, what I would love to hear from both of y'all is, what is your thoughts on manifesting? Because the show's going to be that tonight. And since you're manifesting this whole new vision, what kind of thoughts would you like to share with our viewers about manifesting before I dive in?
Well, we won't take too much of your show. But ladies and gentlemen, manifesting does work. I was not a believer years ago until I talked to somebody and I asked them, what is your secret? And they're like, I manifested. And they just walked off. And I was like, I don't understand what that is. And speed up. And I manifested things in life. I manifested Mary. I manifested things together with Mary, and that can be a novel, another book, and it's just crazy. Mary, what do you think about manifestation?
I agree, because it's really funny in our situation and the divine order and how everything came together, and it was very strange. A lot of the things that I wanted in life were the exact same things that he wanted. Like almost identical. And so it's very weird how we got aligned to the same path to meet. And now everything is going and everything's starting to really bloom and it's all coming into fruition. And we're so excited and just can't wait to see how everything ends and all the blessings.
And one of the keys that you have here is you both share the same intention. And that's one of the most key parts of manifesting, is having that clarity of what is it that you want. I think part of the struggle most people have when they're trying to manifest something is they're not really sure what they want, right? They want to have Yeah.
You're so correct on that. And that's why people struggle with prayers, manifesting. You are so, they will be like, oh, I'd like to start my own business. Okay. Okay, fine. Well, it's probably not going to happen. I would like to start my own business, and I would like to business network and do AI generation creation and help business owners flourish. That is specific, that you can manifest. And people don't like that. You got to be very, very specific.
And you have to have that emotional passion behind it, because that kind of fuels and sends that out there. So you have that clarity of, this is what I want, that emotion. And when you're a partnership like you two, or threesome, well, sorry, that's the wrong way to put it. But when you're working with more people and you bring people into the mix, and so if like the three of us, we're all brainstorming on something or a project we're doing, like the release of Grace in the Grind, that brings even more synergy and energy to the mix. And then, of course, to manifest anything, you don't just sit there. You have to take action. You have to do the steps that are needed to kind of get the ball rolling and put the energy out there. But then what do you do next? Or lastly, you have to kind of let it go. You have to say, okay, it's in God's hands. I've put it out there. I've done my part. I didn't just sit on my hands. I did my part of whatever I was inspired to do. And now I'm kind of waiting for the universe to open that window, open that door, make that new connection with somebody. And then we're off to the races when it comes to manifesting. So those kind of 4 steps of that, clarifying it, having that intention, really clarifying it, get that passion and the emotions behind it, making sure you're taking action, and then releasing it prayerfully and with faith and understanding that, it's kind of like baking a cake. If you do all the work, you're like, what kind of cake do I want to bake today? Oh, I know. I want to make a chocolate layer cake. Cool. All right. Get all the ingredients, right? I'm clear on what I want to make. I take the action, get the passion about it. I can already taste what it's going to be like. I bake it, get everything in the pan, put it in the oven. Well, if I keep opening up that darn door, that cake is not going to cook properly. It's not going to come to fruition. I got to just let it go until the time is right. The timer goes off, ding, I can open it up, and there's my cake. And now I get to take it and do the next steps, which is let it cool, frost it, and then yum, we can eat it, right? So I think if people think of something that's simple as baking a cake or making any dish they want to cook, right? There's steps in it, and there's some wait time in between the actions. And I think when people are trying to manifest things in their life, they try to make it way more complicated than it needs to be. And that's kind of what throws some wrenches into the work, so to speak. But those 4 steps are really important, and they're so simple if you think about it, and have your intention, get excited, take some steps, wait, and then take more steps. Wait, take some more steps. Wait, take some more steps.
That's the thing.
You get it.
Don't get discouraged when it doesn't happen on your time.
Right.
That's where a lot of people make mistakes.
I think you're very correct, because I think they end up holding themselves back, because manifesting is all about a flow and an energy vibration and what you're putting out there. And if you're putting the fear and lack and it's not happening, it's not going to happen, because that's what you're putting out there. And I mean, sometimes when you do that kind of good. Oh, what I was saying is, like, when you do it and you're working on it, sometimes it's like, think big, whatever. If you're one that's going to struggle and negative think and backtrack, then start with smaller steps. But don't get discouraged when you have big dreams, because big dreams are what make things happen and stuff. And so depending on your personality type, you may want to start with small steps, or go ahead and do big if you're one that can let go easily and not think about it, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it'll help you build if you do the small steps, if you're one of those personality types. And then guess what? You see, I can do more and more. Oh, this is awesome. And then, I find that to be probably one of the most productive things that can help people on working with their manifesting and stuff. So do an honest self-assessment about your
Yeah.
thinking. You go into a situation and instantly find everything negative, you're probably going to need to take small steps, because
Yeah.
that's a
And also the
naturally.
way that you phrase, the way that you think about it and phrase it. And also, where did it come from? Were you prompted by spirit? Was this some kind of intuition or guidance that you received that inspired you to think big and have this dream? Is it something that's always been a part of your life that you've been thinking about and thinking, how can I make this happen? And now it feels like the time is right to have that happen. So a lot of times when we think about manifesting, I tell people a lot of times, well, start small, just like with any life change, trusting your intuition. You may not, on the very first time you try to trust your intuition, you may not decide to leave your current wife, leave your job, move cross country and join some ashram, right? I mean, that would be a really major life change, really kind of strong mixed signals from spirit, and you probably wouldn't want to be doing all that all at once. So you start a little bit smaller and like, oh, well, how can you make your relationship better with your partner? Or are you really truly getting prompted for a new partner? Or is your job not suiting you for some reasons? Well, why? Is it you don't have enough time, or you're not creative enough, or is it more money that you need, or what is it about that? Narrow that down and then say, okay, I want to manifest a solution for this area. So it's kind of like working out at the gym. You wouldn't just go in there and do 5,000 crunches or try to bench press 250 pounds if you haven't been working out at all, right? I don't know. You know more about that, Grizz, right? Rehabbing and working things out. You got to start small,
Right.
but you can dream big. I mean, the Olympics were on. I just loved the story. I'm living in Wisconsin now, and there's this Wisconsin speed skater by the name of Stoltz, Jordan Stoltz, and they show his history. He was a little kid of 7 years old when he watched Eric Heiden win the Olympics years and years ago. It was 16 years ago, and his parents literally took their plow and they plowed a big oval in the little pond behind their house so he and his sister could learn how to speed skate. And he said, one day I'm going to be an Olympian, right? Well, you're not going to crush a little kid's dream. Hello. You're not going to crush a little kid's dream and say, oh, that's ridiculous. Do you realize how rare it is to be an Olympian, let alone win a gold medal? Well, here it is. The kid actually grew up and loved speed skating and became one of the world's best. And he just won his first gold medal. And it all started with this dream of something that he kept in mind and he worked at. He also had the support of his family. See, having the support of a loved one. So Grizz, you and Mary have each other, right? And if one of you had the dream, the other one could be slightly supportive. But when you're working together on it and that synergy, that's amazing. And when you can bring even more people on and that energy builds and the excitement builds, it's so much easier to manifest what you're hoping to do versus feeling like it's you against the universe. And by the way, listen to that word. Did you think it's you against the universe, or is it you with the universe? Are you a co-creator? Watch your language, right? When you're trying to create something. Is it a positive thing, right? Just like affirmations. How have you guys studied a lot about affirmations? Well, if you word an affirmation negatively, like I will stop smoking, that's kind of tough. Or I will lose weight. Oh, okay, maybe, but it's so much better and more effective if you word things positively. I will be somebody who enjoys breathing fresh air and has no need of nicotine. Or I'm somebody that makes great food choices that keeps my body healthy and fit, and I'm getting better and better every day. Because you also can't lie to yourself both with an affirmation or with a manifestation. You can't sit there in your broken down jalopy and convince yourself I'm driving a Ferrari, right? You can't. You're not going going to manifest a brand new F-150 pickup truck if you're driving a jalopy and you don't have a job and you're not even buying a lotto ticket so that the universe can bless you out of the blue? Right? You got to do something.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's also subconscious reasons that sometimes we don't get what we want, right? And that's, again, where it's so good to have a partner to help us so we don't wind up shooting ourselves in the foot. You all know about that shooting yourself in the foot thing, don't you?
I damn near did it once when I was younger. That's good enough for me.
But, our subconscious, if for some reason you don't think you're worthy to manifest that thing you want, or if you've been conditioned by other people putting you down and telling you, oh, you'll never amount to much, or you'll never be famous, or you'll never be successful, or you'll never own your own house, or you'll never find somebody to truly love you for who you are. If that's what you believe and you programmed on some deep level, you have to overcome that first. You got to reprogram that, because otherwise there's this push-pull going on. You send out this vision of what you want into the universe. You take that action. You have that passion. And then what's happening is you get this little creep coming up from the subconscious going, no. And you wind up sabotaging the progress that you're making. And so it's so important that you take a look at, what do you truly believe? And here's one that's really interesting. I grew up Catholic. And one of the things I remember learning really early on in one of the religion classes is the money is the root of all evil. And it's like, well, first of all, that's a misquote. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. And even that, it's sort of like, well, what's wrong with love and money? You love it to the exclusion of other things. When you chase it for the sake of the money, not for the blessings the money can bring to your life, to other people's lives, and the things that you can do with it, right? So if, let's just say you had that like, oh, money is evil, money is evil, money's evil, and that's how you grew up. Now you're trying to be a successful business person. Guess what? Having cash flow and having a lot of money is helpful if you're going to have a successful business. And so you have to reprogram that and say, I am a great steward of the money and the resources in my life. And just like the story of the talents, I am the one that takes it. I don't just hide it away in the ground. I take out those talents and I do things with them so that they will multiply. And I will have a wonderful accounting when the time comes of what I did with the gifts and the resources and the money that was entrusted to me, right? So if you have that as your attitude, as you're putting out intentions to manifest, the universe goes, oh, they're serious. They want to make something big. Okay, let's see what we can do together. And then spirit becomes that extra person that's helping you on the side. Does that all make sense? Make sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
Too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The other thing to do when you're manifesting is don't try to control, not just the timing. Grizz and Mary talked about that a little earlier. You got to do it on God's timing, not your own, right? You may hope and pray, this is it. This is the time. You're planting those seeds. And sometimes seeds sprout right on time. And sometimes the seeds take a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more watering, a little bit more sunshine, a little bit more nutrients in there. So if you are trying to force things and make them manifest the way you want, you're trying to control both the how as well as the what. And a lot of times spirit's like, no. You can tell us what you want. We'll figure out how to bring it to you, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can control the how, but then what is delivered is going to be a lot less. Oh, I'm sorry. What? And the bullet traveled down his gap. Somebody had a bad day. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Amy. little sidetrack there. I just saw something about a bullet traveling down somebody's leg. I'm like, what? Well, that would be a detour from spirit for sure. Get that happening. So one of the things that's really important right? Be clear about why you're doing what you're doing. Do your part to put it out there. Make sure your energy is congruent. Bring in whatever partners you can to share in the vision, to share in encouraging you, but be selective, right? If the people that you confide in about the project typically are the naysayers, right? Oh, you'll never amount to much, or oh, why would you leave a good job for that to go start your own business, or why? If those are those kind of people, do not tell them your dreams. Do not tell them what you're planning on doing, because their energy will contaminate and bring yours down. And that's going to impact how fast and if at all things will manifest in your life. Manifestation is not just, oh, I wish this happens. I hope this happens. There's a real scientific, spiritual approach to it. It is aligning yourself with what you want. It is that awareness and emotions, taking the actions and following back around, right? Those are the things that matter. All right. So that's a little bit about manifesting tonight. And as far as what else to manifest or how else to manifest, there's so many guides that are out there, ideas. Guys, just make it simple, really, truly simple. Be clear and involve your full intuition. And remember what that is. That is the knowings, right? It's the intellect. It's what you know to be true in your mind. God gave you a brain, use it, right? Figure out, what is it that I want? Make sure you check in with your heart. Do your emotions feel good? Do you feel passionate about it? Is it something that excites you? Is it something that feels good and makes your heart go loving and like, wow, I'm really going to be able to serve or help or positively impact the lives of others or develop these spiritual gifts or share my light, share my love, and just be out there doing the things that will bring happiness and kindness and blessings to the people in my life, right? You feel that in your heart. Oh, mama, it's like, wow, you got the intellect saying this is what we do, the heart giving it the passion, and then we have the gut. Where does that gut come in? That's where those knowings come in of right time, right place, right people. Right. Who do I confide in? When do we launch? When do we announce? What do we do? Right? It's those three, that partnership, even within yourself, that has to be congruent. So if one of those three partners is kind of like, I don't know, then time out. Figure out why there's not that enthusiasm. What doesn't make sense? What's not making you feel joyful or excited about it? Are you thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be too much work? How am I going to do that? I'm exhausted already. How can I go after my dreams when I can barely get through the week? You'd be surprised. When you start focusing some of your energy towards manifesting the dreams and the things that you really want in your life, there's energy that just starts to flow to you. A lot of the heaviness of the burdens of day-to-day life start to fall away, because now you have something to look forward to. You can start seeing how things are unfolding. You can start perceiving like, oh, this synchronicity happened. I was thinking about how much I wanted to do this activity, and I met this person, and they love the idea and they want to work with me, or they've already figured out steps 1 through 10, and I can join them on step 11. Woohoo! I've shortened my path that much faster. So never let your current situation of feeling tired or overwhelmed stop you from at least the dreaming part, the thinking part, the feeling, the energy, building up the enthusiasm and the energy for it. And trust that gut. That's our inner child, right? Make sure that inner child's on board. Make sure they know, hey, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be listening to you. We're going to go forward. And if there was, excuse me, any learnings or lessons we had from the past that don't fit in here, that are sabotaging or holding us back from old programming, we're going to work on that. We're going to get rid of any of that old programming. You will amount to whatever you want to, right? You don't listen to the programmings of the naysayers. You listen to the support of the people who love you, the people who encourage you. Now, you have any thoughts on that, you guys, before I kind of take it into a slightly different turn?
Yeah, I do. It's a fantastic subject. And how would you explain to somebody how to start to manifest? What are the steps that you recommend?
Right. So the very first step that I would do, and I'm somebody who likes to write things down, because when you write it, it becomes both visual. You can talk it out loud. You see it. It reminds you, this is what I want. And so I would write it down in the most positive terms and the most attainable. I used to work for a Fortune 500 company as a senior management consultant, right? And we used to do things called SMART goals. And the letters of SMART all stood for, it's an acronym. So it was specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and time-based. That's what SMART, the letters of SMART, stood for. So when I'm manifesting or thinking about that, I try to lean on that same principle of SMART. Make it specific, make it measurable, make sure it's something that's actionable that you can work on or towards, make it realistic, and make it time-based. So if I was going to say, I want to manifest myself running a 5K, okay? So the specific of it is, I want to run a 5K. Okay, it's going to be very clear whether I can get from the start line to the finish line. So it's going to be measurable. Actionable, I need to start training and figure out, how do I need to get myself in shape? How much do I have to practice or run to be ready for that 5K or the half marathon or the marathon or the Ironman or whatever it is that you might want to manifest that way. Is it reasonable? Okay, I got hit by a car. I can barely walk. I'm not running a 5K, no matter how much I wanted to try to manifest that, until maybe after I get a new set of knees one of these days, right? And then we'll see. But it's certainly not happening. So that's not a reasonable one for me. But for most people who have not had some kind of injury where it inhibits their mobility, they may say, yeah, okay, if it's something I really want to do, that's reasonable. I can start training. And time-based is, how much time are you putting into it? But more importantly is, when is the date of that 5K? And that kind of ties to the reasonable. If the 5K race is next week and you haven't trained at all, probably not reasonable. But if it's a month out, might be, right? So that's the first thing I try to do, Grizz, is I try to step back from it and apply SMART and say,
That's pretty interesting.
Is what I'm trying to manifest specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and time-based. And reasonable is not meant to be a limiter. So if my dream is to run my own business, become self-employed, run my own business, and make over $1 million and run $1 million a year business successfully, well, if you've never run any business at all, that might be a little much, right? It might be unreasonable for the first level of what you manifest. But what you could do is say, I think I want to learn how to leave where I'm an employee of, how do I become self-employed? How do I start my own business in the next year? Okay, that might be more reasonable. Now, there's some people that are superstars in manifesting, where they say, I love to sing. I want to be a country music star in a year. And they go out there and they just make sure they're singing in front of every possible agent, every possible important mover and shaker, every other. They go to concerts of famous country singers, and they set themselves up by the back door, stage door, where the people come in and out, and there they're singing. So that famous person can hear this other person singing and go, dang, you're not half bad, and make some connections, right? You hear the stories all the time, right? But what did they do? They took inspired actions to make sure they'd be in the right place, right time to be spotted to get the break they need, right? So sometimes reasonable might seem unreasonable to most people, but if you have that inspiration and that passion and that ability to go do something, then you don't have to limit yourself too much. Your reasonable might be a very different definition than your mom's reasonable or your brother's reasonable or your friend's definition of reasonable. To you, it's totally reasonable that you could go sit outside the stage door and sing from 1 till 2 in the morning, playing your songs until somebody from backstage hears you and says, dang, you do have talent, boy.
Right.
So, right?
Well, thank you for covering that.
The other thing. Oh yeah, happy to. The other quick thing is, so that's on the logical side, right? So that's my business background. The other side of me for manifesting relies very heavily on spirit. So if the Holy Spirit is prompting me and inspiring me to do something, to make a change, to go after something, to create something new, I know I have the backing of the Holy Spirit who just prompted me to do those things. So even if I, in my logical brain, are saying, I'm not sure what's smart about this with the specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, time-based, but I got a really clear message from Spirit. And I'm going to trust that if I put out there into the universe, this is what I'm feeling from Spirit. This is what I want to create. I want to create this new show. I want it to attract people who are not necessarily spiritual, but I want to help to introduce them to spiritual topics by talking about day-to-day things that they need to hear. And what are the struggles we go through, from the commute to the job, to the dealing with the inter-office politics, to whatever it is, right? But lacing that in little by little. And I want to get this show out, and I want to make sure it hits more audiences across. So, okay, I'm going to ask Grizz and Mary, hey, what do you think? And you know what? You remember what you said, Grizz? I'd love to attract more of the Pacific audience. I'd like to make sure we could get people, that, wouldn't normally come to our channel anyway. Hey, that's a cool idea for a show. Let's bounce it around. And hey, Mary, can you come up with a good idea of other ways we can integrate things in there? And that's part of the reason it was called Grace in the Grind, because Mary was also bringing in some of the spiritual aspects to it. And it was like, oh, okay, this is going to work, And so it was this little prompting my spirit, my heartfelt desire to serve and reach more people and help more people. And I was prompted to talk to Chris Grizzly and Mary about it. And they both responded like, yeah. And so now that's rolling, and it's going to become a reality. So in that case, I didn't sit there with the whole essay. Right? Go ahead, please.
No, you're right. And this is where I'm going to say, you can come to me and say, Grizzly, I want to do 3 more shows. I'm like, amen, let's do it. Because you are a star. You're talented. People love you. You have so much to give. And that's why you're on the Bigfoot Outlaw Network, because you are special. Yeah. And you've reached so many people even after the show airs. So if you're not a subscriber, ladies and gentlemen, please ring that bell, hit that notification. It's free. And also, after her show, there's a new show coming up. Check it out. Stay on here. It'll slingshot you right to the next show. And this is where I and Mary.
I wanted to show you guys something.
What?
Okay, so I sent it to your messenger. It'll be real quick. I want to tell you the story.
This one?
Yeah. So, yep, that one right there. So, a long time ago, my oldest son, we used to work on prayer and manifestation. And in this picture, he is probably about 5, 6 years old. And I had taken him, and he was going to the vet's office, the dentist's office. Sorry, vet is on my mind right now.
Here.
The dentist office. And he had been there, and they had this like contest for all the kids through all through the year. They were holding and taking these little things and putting them in. They were going to pick out a name at the end of the year. And so it was this big bear, and he was like, "Mom, I want it." It was a mama bear cub with the little bear cubs. And I said, "Put your name in and start praying and trying to manifest it and ask God for it, and you'll get it. He'll give it to you. I already know." And he was like, "Really? You think I'll get it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." 6 months later, they called, and guess what? There's the picture that he manifested that bear. So if a small child can do it, you can do it. And sometimes you have to step back and take it into the eyes and take the mindset of a child, because adults, we analytically want to try to prove everything, or this or that, or I can't do that, or I have to have this solid evidence before that would work, where children will just believe.
That is so true. That is a good point.
And that's
So with that
the
note,
heart space.
That's
Yeah.
right.
that note, you're doing a good job. Good night, guys. We'll catch you on the next show. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Hey, Grizz. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for popping in, y'all. That was awesome. Very awesome. I feel really blessed, right? It's been ages since we've seen Chris, Grizzly, and Mary. So, y'all, that was kind of fun. All right. So we still have a little left time on our show tonight as well. And so for those of you who are somewhat new to the show, that was really special, having a nice conversation and some learning points with both our guests there, Chris, Grizzly, and Mary. What I will do typically is kind of just talk about some topics, what's been on my mind and heart, and then I go into some messages from Spirit. So I do have some messages from Spirit for everybody. And then what I'll do after that is I'll check with the chat. And if there's any comments or questions that y'all want me to answer or go into, I'd be more than happy to do so. So just type that all in caps. And as Grizz was saying, please do all that nice social media stuff. Subscribe, ring the bell, share, follow. Tell everybody, right? We're out here trying to make a difference in the world. So you can do your part by helping others find us as well. Okay, so the messages today, the very first card I got, the Oracle card, is Inspiration. And Inspiration says, your thoughts and feelings are being lifted to greater spiritual heights. Remember to act upon your ideas. Your flashes of insight are inspirational. Well, heck, I didn't actually read any of the cards I flipped over, right? I pray, I ask Spirit, I flip them. And then when I grab them live now, well, isn't that perfect for what we've been talking about as far as manifesting things, right? Listening to that inspiration from Spirit, feeling lifted, and then taking the actions. So that fits right in. The other, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share these cards with you. This is so exciting to me. Okay. The next card, the angel card, is listen. How many times do we have to listen, right? It says, quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to the gentle reassurances of your angels that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive mode without worrying about the exact nature of your desires manifestation. I'm not kidding you. I did not pick these cards intentionally. I just flipped them over. This is so fun. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you from the angels. Listen. So that is a wonderful reminder that in order to get that prompting from Spirit, we have to also quiet our minds sometimes and make sure we're listening. And again, I'm cracking up when I'm seeing these cards, guys. The last angel card here is commitment. And commitment says, angel wisdom reminds you that when you aim for a vision without doubt or deviation, it must succeed. Your guidance is to persevere towards your vision. Let every thought, word, and action be directed towards your desired outcome. Nothing is more powerful than a focused energy, and the angels will see the pure light of your commitment and intention and will help you manifest that in your life. Remember to ask your angels for help and know that when you dedicate your intention to the highest good, they will support you. Well, isn't that cool? Those 3 cards are like right on when it comes to the manifesting conversation. That was pretty exciting. And then I chose 3 angel cards, past, present, future, for what's been going on right now. So the first card, past, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is always about the things that come into our life suddenly, good and bad, without warning. Here they are. It's the challenges, it's the blessings, it's the disasters, it's the windfalls, right? So when we think about that, it seems kind of willy-nilly, right? But if we can do what this next card says, which is, this is the 5 of Rods, if we can take the chaos that's in our life and flip it around so we're clear on what we want, we know the direction we want to go in, we're taking those steps, we're being clear, we're building the energy, we're dealing with any of the old subconscious blocks, we can not have things seem so random of blessings or curses or wonderful things or terrible things, right? It can be much more smoothly progressing towards what you're trying to manifest when you take that kind of control. And Rods is also the suit of our intuition, which means pay attention. You want to be in the right place, right time, meeting the right people in order to manifest the beautiful things in your life that you want. Oh, you cannot, and in my opinion, and there's very few shoulds that I will ever say, but in this case, I'm going to say you should not be trying to manifest something evil or harmful against another person, right? So if what you want to manifest is seeing them gone or seeing them out of your life, that is not the way to use your energy, your creativity, your energy. That is not good use, proper use of that, right? That's like sending a curse energy. So much better if you're going to manifest. If you want them gone, well, basically you get yourself out. You get yourself to a better situation. You focus on manifesting, becoming a better you, a different you, someone that they wouldn't even want to be around, and let them drift away. You don't have to kick them to the curb, so to speak. Okay, and the last card, which is really nice when it comes to manifesting, because it's upside down. It's the Page of Cups, rather. And the Page of Cups says, when you work hard and follow your intuition towards manifesting, you will never be disappointed with what you get. It's not going to be like, oh, I really always wanted this beautiful bottle of wine, and you crack it open and it's turned to vinegar, right? The universe doesn't set you up to fail. It basically is a mirror that will reflect back to you the programmings and the things that you're sending out to it. So if you want to attract something into your life, if you want to manifest, again, those simple steps, right? Get really clear about what you want, get the energy and enthusiasm for it, get that going, take the action that you're inspired to take, keep moving each day, little by little, step by step, in the direction of that you're trying to manifest, whether it's becoming the best possible version of you, whether it is creating a new opportunity for you and your family, whatever it may be. And then finally, release the outcome, right? Don't keep opening up that oven door. You're going to ruin the cake, right? You put it out there, you're taking the steps, you wait for the next promptings from spirit of what they want to bring into your life. All right. So that's what the messages from spirit are from today. And I'm just cracking up at those, especially those first 3. That could not have been more right on for the way the discussion went with Chris Grizzly, Mary, and with me. So that was kind of fun, y'all. All right. So let us take a look. Oh, I guess I should also look at my book. Let me grab that for a second over here and crack open a page. Sorry, I should have had that a little more ready. Okay. So my book, as you all know, if you're a regular viewer of the show, is A Portal to Potential. It is available on Amazon for $10 whole there. And it's filled with all kinds of inspirational writing, as well as the section I love actually the most is more towards the back. And it is filled with what are the kinds of questions we should be pondering? What are the thoughts we should be thinking if we're trying to manifest and create a life that is living with purpose and that is filled with love and peace, and making sure we are having that time for creativity and living out our destiny and creating a legacy of a life worth living. So that's a lot of what's in here. So anyway, let me crack it open and see what I get. Let's see. So my eyes just went on it and it actually focused. I'm going to go zoom in. A picture of my doggy Flash. I don't know if that's clear or not at the bottom there. So you see him there next to all the pumpkins, and he has a orange ball in his mouth. And when I first saw him, I was like, oh my God, he has a pumpkin in his mouth. No, it was his own ball. And I just thought it was too dang cute. So I took that picture, and that's in the book. But the paragraph right above that says, a truth I have come to know is that if you ask a heartfelt question, you will absolutely receive an answer. You may or may not always like what appears, but an answer always comes. So I think when it comes to manifesting, that's something Mary was also alluding to earlier, that sometimes the timing is God's timing, not yours. And sometimes when we ask a question about manifesting, that question should be, is this the right time? Is this righteous for me to manifest this? Is it, so asking those kind of questions can also be very helpful in determining whether or not what you're trying to manifest will actually show up in your life, right? So there's lots of different approaches you can take to manifesting. You can do things behind you here in the back there. You see a vision board. There was a time I was trying to manifest a whole bunch of different things. And so I visually cut out pictures, put them on a piece of poster board, words, phrases, things that I wanted to have happen in the next couple of years. And I put that in a place that I would see it every day. And if I look back at that now, about 90% of those things actually came to pass. And I'm like, cool beans, right? That to me, why not 100%? Well, probably my energy, but also, what things change over time. As you start to attract and manifest some of the things in your life, your desires are going to shift. So the wish list that you had when you were 10 years old is going to be very different from the wish list you have when you're 21, and very different from the wish list you're going to have when you're 40 or 65, right? So as we progress, as we live our life, certain things that seem like I got to have this in my life, you may or may not find them as important later. And just as you get wise or you live life, your priorities are going to change, right? I heard this from a young man I worked at. You all know I'm a life coach, right? So I was working with a young man, and his wife just had a baby. And he said, my whole life just changed. I thought I wanted a Harley motorcycle. I wanted to drive through, take vacations and see the whole US and take these long road trips. At first it was alone, and then it was with my wife. And now that I'm a dad, I want to create the most amazing home for my kid. And I want to be able to still travel, but now it's not necessarily to the same places and for the same reasons. It's I want to show him the world, not I want to see the world. And so that subtlety of what he wanted to manifest made a huge difference in his planning, in his to-do list, on what steps he needed to take to manifest those things. So don't be too harsh on yourself either. If you're like, wait, what I wanted to manifest has changed. All right, you didn't waste any time. You just started learning, how do I put thoughts out there? How do I crystallize what I want? How do I recognize when it's starting to show up so I can take actions, right? How do I know the cake is ready? The timer goes off. I open the door. What is one of the things you have? If you're a baker, you know what you do. You feel the cake, or you get a toothpick, you stick it in, and you'll know, right? You know how to test it. So learning how to test, is this done? Is this what I wanted? Is there more I need to do to get it further along or closer to what it is that I wanted to manifest? All right, so here we go. So that's what I wanted to say about that. So I hope that was fun for you to hear a little bit. And now I'm going to turn to the chat and see what questions we have. So just give me a moment as I scan it. Hopefully you put your questions or comments in capital letters so they'll jump out at me, because there's a lot of chatting tonight because Grizz was on the show and everybody was so happy. So there's a lot of stuff going on back and forth. So let's see what we got here. Good evening and blessings. Well, thank you, Nilda. That was very kind. Get some nice blessings from everybody and hellos, and good to see everybody. Oh my gosh. And somebody was sharing his brother actually did shoot himself in the foot when his father was teaching us how to shoot. Oh my God, Amy, that's hysterical. Oh my gosh. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm seeing some stories shared, which are fun. Okay. Don't forget. Oh, okay. So I'm going to share this one here because this is a good point. So John is telling us, don't forget the why. Very good point, John. So if you're trying to manifest something, the why that you're doing that should be part of that whole passion and energy that you're building to send, right? If you don't have a why, if you're just kind of going through the motions of, okay, I'd like to manifest, what would I like to manifest? I would like to manifest a nice Valentine's Day dinner this year. Okay. Why? Well, I want to feel a sense of love of self, and it would be really nice just to have a healthy meal that shows love for my body. Okay, that's cool. So, but this year I don't have a man in my life for me personally. I have some friends, I got some prospects, you never know, but I still want that Valentine's meal. Is that worth that desire, that why that I want to show love to myself, worth going out to buying the ingredients? Yeah. And matter of fact, I already cheated because I bought them today. I went out and I bought a special meal of things that I really enjoy. And I'm like, I'm actually working on Saturday. When I get home, I'm going to make myself this wonderful Valentine meal and just feel the love of the universe around me and the love that I have for myself that says, hey, even if I don't have a partner right now on this upcoming Valentine's Day, I can still show love to myself. And if you do have a partner, a wife, you're in a committed relationship, you're part of a family, you can show love to others on Valentine's Day, right? You can do something special for them. Why? Because, yeah, I know it's a Hallmark holiday, but it's a good reminder for us to show love to the people in our lives by doing the things that matter to them. The why for other kinds of manifesting, I wanted to manifest that other show we talked about earlier, The Grace and the Grind. Why? Because I wanted to help more people. You all are amazing. You're tuning into this show on the Bigfoot Network because you're spiritual, you're light workers, but I bet you each know a dozen people on your jobs, in your neighborhoods, in your family that want nothing to do with spirituality. They want nothing to do with anything woo that they think is woo, whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's angels, whether it's aliens, whether it's spiritual talk. They don't want to know anything about that. But you know what? We can put a lot of our spiritual terms into downright easy to understand day-to-day topics and just talk to people where they're at. Learn, Stephen Covey said years ago in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? Begin with the end in mind. Some of his tenets are just so timeless and beautiful. So if I want to help my neighbors and my coworkers and people in my family who are not spiritual, I need to talk to them about, well, tell me about your life. Tell me about your commute. What's important to you? What's driving you crazy these days? What would you like to fix in your life? So putting much more my practical consultant life coach hat on and talk about that. Why? Because the more people I can help in that way, I can start to sprinkle in and stretch them a little bit into, have you thought about your soul or spiritual purpose? Have you thought about there's helpers out there between the angels and your loved ones in spirit? You know, and just the little the little hint of it here and there. But why is that show manifesting? Not just because I had a clear vision of it. My why is truly to serve, to bring information through and to help people. My legacy is not my kids. I don't have children. My legacy will be the positive impact on the lives that I've touched. That's what my soul wants to do. So my why of becoming more well-known, of having more shows, of maybe even becoming famous someday and being on like real national TV instead of on podcast, and sharing messages with people that help, like you all help, to shine their lights and share love and kindness and goodness with each other and have positive impacts on the lives of others, and be that voice to remind people that we're all in this together. We are all brothers and sisters underneath this sun, trying to figure out how do we get through the day, right? Well, sharing those messages is my passion, and helping people is my passion. So my why is a huge why. So I am not surprised at all that the universe said, okay, Chris Grizzly and Mary are going to give it a thumbs up, and they're going to help to get that show out there. And more people are going to watch this show and say, hey, you know, this crazy lady in Wisconsin, you know, she's had this wacky life, but she is talking the kind of talk we want to hear about how we can overcome our problems, how we can manifest good things in our life, how we can be unconditionally forgiving of ourselves and others, and love ourselves and others, and actually have peace in our life, and fulfill the purpose of our souls, and create a legacy of positive impact that just grows and snowballs the more we touch other people's lives. That's a why. What's your why? What's your why? What do you want to manifest in your life? You don't have to have a huge why. It can be, I want to have the best life for me and my family. I want to be the best possible provider. I want to be an inspiration to my children. I want to be a wonderful caretaker so that the people that I'm caring feel loved and safe. It can be a profound personal why. But to manifest things, as John is reminding us, we need to have those whys. Thank you, John. That was a great way to remind us. Okay, so any other questions? I'm looking down the chat. Oh, good for you, Amy. Amy she said, I saw the movie Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford and thought, that's what I want. I want a mountain man. And that's what she got. I thought you were going to tell me you got Robert Redford. That would have been like amazing. Even more so, but good for you that you got your mountain man. Amen. But that was a clear vision, clear energy, clear desire. And you probably gravitated to men that were like that. You went to places where men like that would be and made you nice connections. So good for you, Amy. Good for you. All right. Let's see. Anybody else as we have our final minute here? Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm scrolling down. There's a lot of chat going on tonight. It's very good. Thank you for the blessings, Nilda. Always nice to see you. Okay. Okay. Does any one of my loved ones have a message for me tonight? Okay. So that's a question that Nilda has. Thank you for putting it in caps. It helped me see it. What I actually feel, I'm going to extend this out to all y'all. It's not just Nilda. our loved ones are around us, our loved ones in spirit, those who have passed over ahead of time, both our four-legged friends as well as our family, our two-legged friends and family. They come around us. They're around us. They right now, Nilda, for you specifically, as well as for anyone who's tuned in right now, your loved ones in spirit are encouraging you to carry on, to hang in there. They feel your pain. They hear your prayers. They know times are very challenging. Right now, it is tough out there. And they are giving you those spiritual hugs and sending you as much strength and support as they can so that you can make the changes you need to feel more loved, to feel and open up to the blessings and the abundances that are available to you, and to help you manifest the hopes and dreams and the most important things that would make your life better. It's there for you. Their love for you is there. Their encouragement is real. And I send my encouragement and blessings and love to you all as well. You know the homework if you've tuned into the show. And if you're new, please take this homework to heart. Shine your light. Share your love. Do your best. Do your best to become the best possible version of yourself that you can and have a positive impact in every situation you're in and with every person that you meet. God love you. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, again, do all those nice social media things. Love you, and we'll see you again next week. And stay tuned. Come back on the channel, and I believe Grizz is going to be on the show. And do y'all hear that? My dog knows time. How do you know time, you crazy dog? You know it's time to sign off. All right. God love you. Take care, y'all, and we'll see you next week. Bye now. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I know. He's saying I got to find the outro. Okay, so we got to hit this. And I think that'll...
Coming to a YouTube channel near you.